Well, hello. It's been a while since we have posted an episode of The Journey, but today we'd like to talk about kind of where we are now. First of all, our location in Mexico is very strategic. God took us there and we didn't really understand why until we understood that there was very little gospel in the state of Tlaxcala, and we went to plant churches, of course, in 1980. But you can see on this map that Tlaxcala is very centrally located, and Apizaco is like 2 hours or so from Mexico City, 45 minutes from Puebla, an hour and a half from Jalapa, an hour and a half from Pachuca. These are all state capitals and they're all large cities. So within 100, 120 mile radius from Apizaco, there are about 30 million people. Isn't that amazing? And so even though Tlaxcala is agricultural and Apizaco is just a small town, we're very easily accessible to, I don't know, maybe a fourth of the population of Mexico. But we also have people come from the coastal cities to our trainings or to be sent out. And so LAMM from this central location is serving all of Mexico. And we send out the missionaries to wherever God's called them to. Actually, we don't tell them where they need to go. They need to hear that from God, right? And so the 1040 window, I hope you remember what that is. It's latitude 10 to latitude 40 over the continents of Asia, Africa, and the very southern tip of Europe. As you can see in this map, all these red dots represent where LAMM missionaries have gone to work. And some of them are working with Muslims, others with Hindus or with Buddhists. Some are working in Bible translation. Some have established businesses in order to be in society and meet people. Some are working with unreached peoples. Others are in large cities. Some are in mountainous areas and rural areas, tribal peoples. Some are working with schools. One brother in India has started like a music and language school. Others are learning language. Some have worked with refugees. One family is on their way now to can I say Italy? To Italy, to Italy, and he works with sports ministries, and he's done this for a number of years in Mexico. Others have worked in medicine. Some are in support roles. They work with the local church and just however they can serve. Some work in mobilization and others in churches as pastors or whatever. Okay, so we are from this little state, the smallest state in Mexico, but central. I say Tlaxcala is the heart of Mexico. We are reaching the world, really. It's just amazing what God has done. Things that we never dreamt or imagined when He called us to Tlaxcala. Okay, but we have a situation that I'd like to share with you right now, and that is the situation of our offices. Now, in 1990, what year was it? 1994, I think. God gave us a beautiful home, and it's a pretty large home, and we dedicated that house to the Lord and to His service for ministry at that time, not knowing really what that meant, right? And the offices for Latin America to the world in Apizaco, Tlaxcala are in our home, and they've been in our home since the beginning, since LAMM was initiated in the year 2000. In the beginning, it was just Bill and I, and so it wasn't too hard. And then we added someone else, and then someone else, and then a couple more. And now we have like 10 people working out of our home. And we enjoy that, actually. We have a very family type atmosphere. It's really interesting because, you know, LAMM should run like a business, and it does. But at the same time, we're like a family. Okay, we love each other and pray for each other. Okay, I want to show you some of the pictures of how we're working in our home. Okay, first, this picture is in our front yard, and that's a group of new candidates. That's from an orientation. The second picture is the orientation, the teaching of the orientation, and we have to use a local church for that because in our home we just don't have the space anymore. And then you'll see that they're in. A group of us are gathered in our living room for a prayer time. Our living room is used for, when people come in for counseling or to ask questions about the agency or how can I get to the field, God's called me, but I don't know what to do, and they knock on our door. And so we sit down in the living room and talk with them. And we sit in the living room and we pray for the missionaries and the peoples that they are working to reach. Okay? And then the LAMM staff here is around our dining room table. Actually, our dining room used to be in a different room. This is just an area of the kitchen here. But that's where we have all kinds of meetings. That's where we celebrate. That's where we eat together. We have our LAMM meetings. Sometimes we have teaching for LAMM staff around that table. And then in our kitchen, oh my, so much happens in our kitchen because our staff all works together. Everyone pitches in when we have an event or an orientation or people coming to visit. Everyone pitches in to cook and to serve those who have come to LAMM, okay? Because LAMM's a family, and that's the way we receive people. So there's a lot of fellowship and a lot of ministry happens in our kitchen, okay? This is a planning meeting around the dining room table. And then sometimes, instead of going to the local church for a meeting, we just set up tables in our living room. And that's what you see there. These are some of the kids, the missionary kids, and Grandpa Bill. He loves being with the children, and they love him too. Okay, this picture is my office. Betty works with me in this front office, and we do administration. A lot is done for the letters. I'm sorry. That's where a lot of the work is done for the missionary letters to go out. Accounting is done there. In this picture, you can see that I'm sharing with a group. This is an orientation about the different areas in our office and the different people who work there and what they do. But also, you can see the notebooks on the shelf on the far wall. And those notebooks have in them the newsletters that the missionary has sent out. And I tell them that they are writing the history of the Mexican church. And that's always a moving time to think of all the people that have gone and where they've gone and what God has done. And someday we're going to have a lot more notebooks. I'm excited. Yeah. The photographer has a shelf behind him about the same as that one. Okay, and then the next picture is of the Bridges team. Now, Bridges is a business, an import-export business that we started in order to be able to solicit work visas for missionaries going into places of creative access. Okay, and then this picture is, this is actually the real dining room in the house, but we've had as many as 4 people working in this area. Right now, it's set up for 3. And the people there do mobilization, okay? They're in contact with the candidates, the people who've come to us. They take care of the web page and Facebook and different events would be organized by this team. Also, the gal in the picture is in charge of missionary care. And missionary care has been spread out to all of us. In the past, we had one person taking care of missionary care, but then we changed it, And I think it's worked out better because now everyone is responsible for field missionaries, and then we come together to pray for them. So our current situation is we have outgrown our space, and we need something bigger. We need to be able to continue to grow. And right now we're saturated. Besides our home, we rent another house for hospitality, and one of the staff members lives in that house, and so she's responsible to receive people who come and need a place to stay. And so there's a place for them to sleep, and she takes care of their meals, and that's pretty great, actually. That's pretty great. Okay, so right now, currently, there are about 55 missionaries and staff that in one way or another depend on LAMM, and depend on LAMM having the facilities and the resources necessary to take care of them. So in the next chapter, you'll find out how you can be part. Okay, God bless you. Have a great day.